On August 6, 1945, during World War II, an American B-29 bomber dropped the world's first deployed atomic bomb over the city Hiroshima in Japan. The explosion destroyed 90% of the land and immediately killed 80,000 people. Tens of thousands later died due to the radiation exposure. 3 days later, another B-29 dropped an A-bomb on Nagasaki, which killed around 40,000 people. Japanese Emperor Hirohito declared the surrender of his country in World War II on August 15th. He talked about the destructive power of the, quote, a new and most cruel bomb. Let's go back to the beginning to see how this all started. In 1940, the U.S. government began funding an atomic weapons development program. U.S. Army Corps of Engineers was given the task of leading the construction of the facilities necessary for the top-secret program codenamed the Manhattan Project. Over the next several years, scientists worked on producing key materials for nuclear fission uranium-235 and plutonium. Materials were sent to Los Alamos, New Mexico, where J. Robert Oppenheimer led a team to make these materials into an atomic bomb. On July 16, 1945, the Manhattan Project had its first successful test of an atomic device at the Trinity test site at Alamogordo, New Mexico. At the time of the Trinity test, the Allied powers had defeated Germany in Europe. Japan then vowed to fight until the very end in the Pacific, even though there were clear signs that they almost had no chance of winning. In mid-April 1945 and mid-July, Japanese forces caused Allies casualties totaling nearly half those suffered in 3 years of war in the Pacific. This proved how deadly Japan had become when faced with defeat. In late July, the Allies' demand for surrender was explained in the Potsdam Declaration. It threatened the Japanese with, quote, prompt and utter destruction if they refused. General Douglas MacArthur and other military commanders favored continuing bombing Japan and following up with a massive invasion, codenamed Operation Downfall. However, to avoid a high casualty rate, President Truman decided to use the atomic bomb, hoping to bring the war to a quick end. Hiroshima, a manufacturing center with about 350,000 people, was selected as the first target. The 9,000-pound bomb was loaded on a B-29 bomber. The plane dropped the bomb, also called Little Boy, at 8:15 a.m., where it exploded 2,000 feet above Hiroshima. The blast was equal to 12 to 15,000 tons of TNT and destroyed 5 square miles of the city. Only 30 minutes after the explosion, a heavy rain began falling in areas of the city. This so-called black rain contained dirt, dust, soot, and highly radioactive particles that were consumed into the air during the explosion and fire. This caused severe contamination. Even with the massive devastation of Hiroshima, Japan didn't surrender immediately. On August 9th, Major Charles Sweeney flew another B-29 bomber, Boxcar, out toward Japan. Because of thick clouds over the primary target, the city of Kokura, they went to the secondary target of Nagasaki. The plutonium bomb, also called Fat Man, was dropped at 11:02 a.m. This bomb was more powerful than the first and weighed almost 10,000 pounds and was built to produce a 22-kiloton blast. The area of Nagasaki, which was located in narrow valleys in between mountains, reduced the bomb's effect, limiting destruction to 2.6 square miles. Even though the terrain of Nagasaki lessened the impact of the bomb, many lives were still lost. With a population of 270,000 people, almost 70,000 people died by the end of the year. Around 40% of the city of Nagasaki was destroyed due to the atomic bomb. The bomb produced chaos from which no city could easily or quickly recover from. No significant repair or reconstruction, for that matter, was accomplished until months later. On August 15, 1945, Emperor Hirohito announced the surrender of Japan through a radio broadcast. Later on, Winston Churchill estimated that millions of American lives and the lives of 250,000 British soldiers were saved due to the rapid ending of the war. As a result, the atomic bombings of Nagasaki and Hiroshima on Japan marked the end of World War II.